All right, we are live in beautiful sunny Florida. Today, fight fans, we're going to be going live, breaking down UFC Vegas 25, Reyes versus Prohashka in the light heavyweight division. Very exciting main event. Rest of the card's pretty solid. Like this is a good free card, man. You got Cub Swanson in the co-main event. You got guys like Ion Kute Laba, who I mean, you know you're getting a good fight or an exciting fight or a quick finish with Ion. Sean Strickland, he's been looking awesome as of late. It's always great to see Marab Patello in the octagon. Then the prelims, I mean, you got guys like Mowgli Benitez in the prelims. You got guys, I mean, say what you want about TJ Brown, but he's an exciting guy. So like this 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 card's pretty exciting, man. Even Loma Lukbunmi, very exciting female prospect. I see someone in the chat saying, where am I? It's dark. Let me check this stream, make sure everything's good real quick. So yeah, another reason, I mean, obviously you see I'm wearing or maybe you don't see. I am wearing a Ravens jersey right now. You know, we got the draft coming on. Stream looks good. Yeah, man, it's a big night. Reason I'm kind of going early on this podcast. I'm super excited for the draft. Hopefully, you know, my Ravens, they traded. We got 2 first round picks now. I think honestly, with all the research I've done, I mean, it seems pretty obvious that we're in need of 3 positions. And sorry for going on a football tangent here, but we need, help on the offensive line. We need some help on the defensive end, and we need a wide receiver. Now, I think we can chill with the wide receiver in round one, just because like we do have like a big young core of wide receivers. Plus, this draft is so stacked with receivers. We could probably get a good one in round 2 or 3. So I'm thinking offensive line guy I'd love to get is Tevin Jenkins, and then on the edge side, I like Jason Owa. There's a lot of guys I like. I like Aziz Ojulari. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about football for now. We're gonna get into the UFC, but I will say shout out to my boy Justin. Me and Justin of UFC Bro Picks are gonna be going live on his channel during the draft. Just a little live reaction, talk about picks, talk about our opinions. We're big fantasy guys. We'll talk about what's going to be good for fantasy, what's going to be bad for fantasy. So if you're interested in the NFL and football, go subscribe to Justin. We're going live right at draft time, right at like 8 o'clock. So without further ado, we're going to break down the UFC card here because the first fight of the night, Luke Cool Hand Sanders is going to be taking on Felipe Colares. You can get Sanders. I believe he's sitting around minus 140 now. Minus 140, minus 145. A lot of dog money coming in on Felipe Colares. And yeah, I get it. Like Luke Sanders finds ways to lose fights. Definitely a fade. It's crazy. I bet Nate Maness live after round 1 in Luke Sanders' last fight, just because like we know these fighters' tendencies. So it's like, yeah, Luke had a dominant first round, but we've seen this before. And Maness came through with the finish. That was my best live bet I ever made. I was like plus 500 on Manus. It was beautiful. That being said, Felipe Colares ain't the best, man. I'll say that. He's very hittable. He is tough, though. I'll say that. I guess, his jiu-jitsu is good. He's just nothing special. He's kind of like a bottom of the barrel guy. And I think no matter what happens in this fight, Luke Sanders is going to whoop on Felipe Colares. It's just all about, is Felipe Colares going to pull this sub out of his ass against this habitual loser? So I don't know, man. I feel like Luke Sanders' slight fave is probably the right line. So I'm going to be staying away from it. We'll see what happens, though. Moving on to the next fight, we got, man, this is another one you probably want to stay away from. We got Andreas Mikulitis. He's minus 250 taking on KB Bueller plus 200. I mean, yeah, I could, ramble here about negative things about both these guys all night long. But like the main thing is Mikulitis, he's a gas and assassin. Like I've never seen this guy fresh after the first round. Even though towards the end of the first round against Bukauskas pulling that stunt there at the end, like that was bad. But I will say this: he's moving down to the right weight class here at 185. Now KB Bueller, he's just like he. I'll save some words for KB Bueller, but I'm just not quite convinced he's UFC material. I think he's pretty hittable. think he's susceptible to being knocked out. That's what Mikulitis kind of does. Starts off strong, throws bombs, and KB Bueller's the type of guy he might be able to get away with it, against. Now, if it goes past the first round, like, it could be a live betting situation on KB Bueller. So it's like, if you like KB Bueller, just wait till after the first round where he takes a bunch of shots and he's plus 400 at the end of round one. Take Bueller live. So that's how I feel about it. But so yeah, both guys have paths, but Mikulitis, this is his fight to lose in my opinion. So he should be the favorite. Moving on to the next one, we do got Loma Lukbunmi taking on Sam Hughes. Lukbunmi, I believe she's the biggest favorite of the card. Minus 400. She came through big for me last time. I had her minus 125 against Jin Yu Frey, and yeah, she dominated. That was great. Now she's appropriate line. Now she's minus 400 against somebody who probably doesn't belong in the UFC. Now, it's scary betting. Like, if you want to throw Loma in some parlays at minus 400, like, I get it. This is probably such a good matchup for her, but we can't take away the fact that she's probably one of the smallest fighters in the division. Now, I wasn't so worried against Jin Yu Frey because Jin Yu Frey, she was atom weight, 105 pounds. So I knew like the size wouldn't be some crazy difference. Now, Sam Hughes comes in here with some size. She comes out here with an aggressive grappling style, maybe. But from what I've seen, Sam Hughes is probably going to give Loma the fight she wants, and that's a striking battle. So, yeah, I think Loma just kind of rips her up for 15 minutes. So I'll say Loma 30-27 decision. Moving on to the next fight, Kai Kamaka versus TJ Brown. This is a sleeper fight for fight of the night, guys. This is a great fight. TJ Brown is a very aggressive wrestler, exciting style. Now he has a lot of holes in his game. He's hittable. He's a little chinny. He's definitely a red flag fighter. Let's just say that. Now, Kai Kamaka, on the other hand, he came into the UFC against Tony Kelly. I think that they might have even made that fight like on super short notice. And I think it was lined pretty closely, really crazy back and forth war. But like, I was really impressed by Kai Kamaka's boxing in that fight. Like, his boxing is pretty fucking good. He's got power in his hands. Tony Kelly showed a hell of a chin. Um, yeah, I'm going to be scared for TJ Brown every second this fight's on the feet, but we have seen Kai Kamaka taken down. I've seen him get taken down in the regional scene. He obviously his last fight against Jonathan Pierce, who we'll be talking about later. Yeah, I mean, if there's a weakness in Kai Kamaka's game, it's probably his wrestling, and that's not to say his wrestling's bad. Like, I've probably seen him land more takedowns than I've seen him get taken down, but yeah, if there's a weakness at the UFC level, that's probably it. So it's good matchmaking by the matchmakers here. Both guys kind of like Kai Kamaka's strength is Brown's weakness, the durability, and Kai Kamaka hits hard. And then Kai Kamaka's weakness, the wrestling, is TJ Brown's strength. So it's a really interesting fight to call. You know, like, my gut and my brain probably says Kai Kamaka wins this fight and is a rightful favorite. But if I were to bet anyone in this fight, I think it might be the dog, TJ Brown. It's just kind of a dog or pass situation. So it's tough pick. I almost want to pick TJ Brown just because he's the dog in a dog or pass situation. But I'm going to pick my boy Kai Kamaka in this fight. I'm going to say he knocks out TJ Brown in the second round. So moving on to the next one, we got Jonathan Pierce. As I just mentioned, he is plus 170 dog to Gabriel Mowgli Benitez, minus 200. This is a firefight, man. I like this fight a lot. Pierce, yeah, man. Like, my opinion on Pierce has definitely changed more than once. I thought he was pretty solid when he made his Contender Series fight, Joe Lozon. I didn't bet Pierce in that fight. I knew a lot of people that did. I didn't. I picked him, and then we all know what happened. He got smoked by Lozon in Boston. And then in his most recent fight, his next fight, beat Kai Kamaka, showed a heavy pace. Like, he threw so much volume in that fight. Like, he threw 170 something strikes in 9 minutes. Shot for like 8 takedowns, got 5. Just like, after a couple minutes into that fight, he was just really wearing on Kamaka, and he put a hell of a pace on him, big time pressure. He's a big featherweight. That being said, he's taken a hell of a step up in competition here against Mowgli Benitez, who, I mean, Mowgli's been in there with some real great fighters. Has great striking. We know how hard the guy kicks. His wrestling isn't shabby. His jiu-jitsu's not too shabby. Like he's a real solid guy. It, it's kind of, I guess the line might be a little off. I think Mowgli, I just don't like the way Pierce stands on the feet, especially early. He's kind of, he stands wide, firstly, which is not good for the leg kicks, and doesn't move his head a whole lot. So I kind of feel like early Mowgli's gonna touch him up real bad early. There's a chance he could get knocked out. There's a chance his legs just get battered to the point where he's just compromised to the rest of the fight. But if Jonathan Pierce can kind of extend the fight, he's not too damaged. I think he can put it on Benitez in rounds 2 and 3, man, with the wrestling. I mean, you really look at it, the last time Benitez fought like a wrestler that wanted to, come in and do his thing, shoot a lot of takedowns, was Enrique Barzola. Enrique Barzola landed like 8 or 9 takedowns in that fight. Yeah, I know it was a couple years ago, but I mean, that is the weakness in Mowgli's game. If I had to say there is one, probably the wrestling. And yeah, and not only that, Barzola is like he dropped down to 135, whereas Jonathan Pierce is one of the biggest featherweights on the roster. So I think it's a dogger pass situation based on the line. Plus 170 is pretty that's pretty steep, man, like, or too steep. I'm gonna pick Jonathan Pierce. I wanted to bet him a couple days ago. Just every time I think I'm about to move in and pull the trigger, something stops me, and we'll see if I keep getting stopped to bet it by fight time. I might have a bet on Jonathan Pierce, but we'll see. I'd be happy to just sit back and watch this one. I think it's a very good fight, but the pick is Pierce. I think the value's on Pierce. Moving on to the next one, Random Marcos taking on Luana Pinheiro. Luana can be found at minus 160, Marcos plus 140. Yeah, this is your classic longtime UFC vet taking on a Contender Series debutant. And honestly, man, it has not been working out for those Contender Series debutants. I don't have an exact number in front of me, but especially the chicks too. Like the chicks, man, like oh man, there's a lot off the top of my head, but like, yeah, so it's just different, especially when you haven't been in there with good chicks. And Pinheiro has been in there with nothing but jobbers, basically. And Randa Marcos, you can say what you want. She's lost her last 3 fights. She has a 10-10 pro record. She finds ways to lose. Like, she engages in the grappling with Mackenzie Dern. But she's got a path here, dude. Like, when I look at Luana Pinheiro's game, like, sure, there might be more than what I've seen on tape. Supposedly, she's some jiu-jitsu champion, but, like, I haven't really seen any of the jiu-jitsu, honestly. Like, what I've seen from Pinheiro is brawling with big power. She does have power. I'll give her that. She hits hard. And head and arm throws. Like, how many head and arm throws do you guys see her land on the regional scene? Like, a lot. So, man, I don't think you can justify, like, unless you think Randa Marcos is just completely done. I just don't know how you can justify betting Luana here at more than 60% indication. I just don't see it. I think this is Randa Marcos or pass all day long. Now, do I want to trust Marcos to come in here and do the damn thing? I don't know. I don't think so, especially now that it's plus 140. Like, I was looking at it like plus 160. And then something told me not to do it, and I'm like, and now it's getting worse. So I think I'm going to be passing, but I'm going to pick Randa Marcos for the upset. I'll say she gets it done. Not confident at all, though. So let's move on to the next one. Next fight is going to be, we're on to the main card. We got Pollyanna Botello taking on Luana Carolina in the flyweight division. Luana Carolina coming back for the first time after that really bad submission against Lipsky. One of the most, I mean, that was a cringy submission right there, guys. Like, that is a brutal technique. Props to Lipsky for getting that done. But, like, yeah, that was kind of weird. That fight never just really got going. we couldn't really see much from Luana Carolina there. And take that fight out of the equation and watch some tape on Luana Carolina. Like, I don't think she's bad, man. I really don't. I think that was just, I don't want to call it a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. It's just, I mean, that's just not going to happen again. Like, I'll tell you that right now. The thing with Botello, I've bet Botello in the past, you know? I think I've bet Botello multiple times in the past. I might have even lost both times, but I think about her Jillian Robertson one. I bet Botello there against Robertson and at like plus 200. She won the first round. She did her thing. She stuffed. She outstruck Jillian on the feet, and then she just completely gassed. And like, I don't know, man. Like, it didn't look like there was that much energy expent to where she should have gassed that early. And like, you watch her other fights too, she does slow down. She loses a lot of 3 rounds or round threes. Man, if you know, Luana could win rounds 2 and 3 here, guys, or maybe even get a late TKO or some shit. Like, I wouldn't write it off whatsoever. I actually don't mind Luana's striking whatsoever. I think it's solid. I think this line's pretty off, but the problem with me here is I just think that first round's gonna go so horribly for Luana. Like, A, she could get finished again, or B, I mean, she could gas too if Pollyanna's like, you know, doing her thing grappling wise or landing some big shots, big body shots. Like, I don't know. I don't have enough faith in Luana Carolina, so I'm gonna say Pollyanna Botello gets back on track here. I think it might get sketchy towards the end, but I'll say she wins a 29-28 decision. Moving on to the next one. This is my first bet of the night, and not only that, guys, this is the biggest bet I made all year. I haven't made a bet that was more than 4 units in months. I want to say like 6 months. I have 7 units on this play. I'm feeling good about it, nervous at the same time. Let's just get right in. We got Marab Patello. He's taking on Cody Stamann. Marab Patello, you can find plus 255. Cody Stamann plus 215. Did I say plus 255 for Marab? I meant minus 255. But yeah, I got in a little earlier, minus 205. I put 7 units on Marab Patello. Very, very happy about this matchup. It was made months ago, man. Like, it was first announced, I want to say, in like October, and it immediately grabbed my attention. I wanted in right away. I'm very familiar with both guys. I know what both guys bring to the table. Both guys are decision machines. You know, there's not a lot of finishing upside from either guy, so you kind of know what you're going to get. Like, there's less variables. This fight's probably going to go 15 minutes. I mean, I don't want to say it's easy to call, but it's probably one of the easier fights to call. And yeah, I'm glad it got rebooked, moved in on the minus 205, knew that would get steamed right away. It's just like, like, I'm just so confident in Marab that, okay, the first thing I want to do is, okay, let me think about how Cody Stamann can win this fight. Well, firstly, he doesn't have a finish inside of the UFC. He doesn't hit particularly hard. He's not a dangerous submission threat. Would be blown out of the water shocked if he were to finish Marab. Wrestling. Both guys are great wrestlers. From what I've seen on tape, I think Marab's the better MMA wrestler. I lean him in that department. So I think if anyone's getting takedowns, it's him. Not only that, we have seen Cody Stamann taken down many times in the UFC. So let me pop up the stats for you guys here. So I know it was a while ago, but going back to Tom Duquesnoy got him down once, Brian Caraway got him down once, Aljamain Sterling got him down twice, Alejandro Perez got him down once, Brian Kelleher got him down once, and then in his most recent fight against Jimmy Rivera got him down twice. We know the amount of takedowns Marab goes for in a UFC fight, right? Like, it's something nuts, like over 20, averages over like 12 landed in a fight. Yeah, I would give Marab the wrestling advantage. Now on the feet, this is where I have my only problem. Cody Stamann probably is a little bit more of a technical boxer. However, Marab has firstly, Stamann's going to be worried about the takedowns the entire time. That's going to, that's not going to help with letting his hands go. Secondly, Marab is the one that's going to be letting his hands go. This dude just does not stop. His pace and pressure is just unfucking real. The nickname the Machine is just that fits him perfectly. The guy's I mean, he's going to be the one going forward. He's going to be the one throwing more. He's going to be the one shooting. So we have a situation where there's really no finishing upside for Cody Stamann. And how is Cody Stamann going to outpoint Marab over 15 minutes? I think Cody Stamann somehow winning one round sounds like a low percentage situation to me, let alone winning 2 rounds. So, yeah, I don't think Marab comes out here, blows the fucking water out of Cody Stamann. I don't think he one punch knocks him out. I don't think he subs him. I think this fight does go the distance. It's just I have a ridiculously hard time seeing how Cody Stamann is able to outpoint him in that distance. I got Marab via 30-27 here. I think this is one of the easier fights to call, the most confident bet of mine all year. It's still minus 255. I think it should be steeper. I capped it along the lines of minus 400. I have a lot of people saying to me this fight can end up being close. Guys, just because like it's very obvious that a fight's going to go to decision doesn't mean it's going to be close. Like, I don't need to be confident that the guy is going to blow him out of the water, get an early finish for me to be confident enough to put 7 units on it. Like, guys can win by decisions, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm very confident on this bet. People, I'm getting a lot of DMs, of course. Anytime you put out a 7-unit bet, people are gonna, question it. But hey, let's go. My money is where my mouth is. Marab Dvalishvili is going to take this one by UD. Moving on to the next fight, we got Sean Strickland versus Christophe Jocko. So honestly, guys, my original plan was to bet Sean Strickland and Marab in a parlay. But the more I thought about the Sean Strickland fight, I feel like we're getting a little bit of recency bias with the line, just because Sean Strickland has come out ever since his return at 185. He's been looking pretty damn good. Beat up who was that, Marshman for 15 minutes, and then obviously knocked out Brendan Allen, and then we just saw Brendan Allen get a win. So people are very high on Sean Strickland right now, whereas Christophe Jocko hasn't done really anything special in recent years. However, Sean Strickland has not been tested wrestling-wise at 185 pounds yet. Brendan Allen, he didn't shoot. Marshman's a brawler. Christophe Jocko is a big, strong boy. He can wrestle. He's a good point striker. He's got good kicks. I mean, it's not going to be some mismatch for Sean Strickland on the feet. Like, yeah, I agree with most of you guys. Sean Strickland probably does have the striking advantage. He's got the knockout upside here, but I think Jocko can hang, like, striking. I think the striking is going to be competitive. I think Jocko could land takedowns. So I'm not sold on Sean Strickland. I'm not as confident as a lot of people. My confidence is on Marab. Y'all know that. But Sean probably should get this one done. Like I said, I think Jocko's best days are behind him, and at least Sean Strickland's coming out here and having the best performances of his career lately. I think he's found a new self at 185 pounds. So I'm going to go with Sean Strickland, and I will say he knocks out Christophe Jocko here in the 3rd round, but I'm just not confident enough to take that minus 250. So moving on to the next one, we got Ion Cutelaba. He's minus 140, taking on Dustin Jacoby plus 120. Yeah. Honestly, I was kind of tempted on the Jacoby side. Like, I definitely think this is a dog or pass situation. It's a good fight, man. Like I said at the top of the show, you're going to get a firefight with Ion Cutelaba, and he's fighting a kickboxer here, and Dustin Jacoby, all that glory experience, he's been showing off his striking here in the UFC and Contender Series. This is going to be a sick fight, man. I think maybe the only way it could be slowed down a little bit is if Ion decides to take the wrestling route. That's what a lot of guys do decide to game plan for when they fight Dustin Jacoby. However, I've seen Dustin Jacoby make, slight improvements in that area of his game, and I don't think it's going to be some walk in the park for Ion to come out here in D1 wrestling mode. And I also don't think it's going to be very smart for him to come at Dustin Jacoby with these just winging bombs. I mean, not only that, we just seen Eon took a very devastating KO recently. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if Eon can be trusted here. Like, I think you got to make this fight at least a pick 'em, like minus 140 on Eon against Jacoby. I don't know, man. I think at these odds, I'm gonna definitely keep my pick with Jacoby. I don't know if I'm gonna bet him. We'll see. But and not only that, Ian has shaky cardio, where I was kind of getting at there. So even if he does decide to take the wrestling route, like I'm not convinced he can keep it up for 3 rounds. Um, and yeah, people will bring up Dustin Jacoby. He got dropped twice by Maxime Grishin last fight, bro. He almost lost to Maxime Grishin. Like, guys, Maxime Grisham, like he missed weight for that fight. And look at that fight. Dude looked like a fucking heavyweight in there. Like it was ridiculous. Grishin had a lot of weight on him. Grishin was he was trying to find a way to win that fight. And yeah, I mean, he looked gigantic. What can I say? People get hurt in fights sometimes. What can I say? And not only that, Jacoby came back strong. Won the late round. So is what it is. I'm gonna take the dog here against Eon. I don't know about Eon these days. So moving on to the next one, we got Cub Swanson versus Giga Chikadze in the co-main event. This is a striker's delight, man. Like I love this fight. A lot of money coming in on Cub Swanson. My boy Justin is on Cub Swanson. A lot of people are on Cub Swanson, and I get it, man. Like longtime top 15 guy taking on Giga, who still has questionable holes in his game. Kind of rising the ranks. Is he really ready for a guy like Cub Swanson? I get it, but I'm gonna have to go with Giga Chikadze here, man. I just think this is a tough fight for Cub. Like, unless he's gonna be wrestling, he's gonna be giving Giga the fight he wants, and man, Giga's getting more confident, more comfortable in there every time. He's huge for the weight class. I think his power is underrated just because I believe he's only gotten one in the UFC so far. So many tools on the feet. Cub is getting older. Even look at that Crone Gracie fight. Like he was getting hit a fuck ton by a BJJ guy. Like I get he won, but man, you look at the fucking. I mean, firstly, that Duho Choi fight. I don't think either guy was quite the same ever again after that fight. And then the Moicano fight where he gets dropped by a jab. I could see Giga hurting Cub Swanson here, so I'm going to go with him. I think 60 to 70% indication on Giga is fair. So, I mean, yeah, the Cub Swanson dog betters, I get where you're coming from. I just can't quite jump on board. Gonna have to roll with my boy Giga here to extend to what is he in the UFC? He's like 5-0 in the UFC, so this will make 6-0. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's 5-0 in the UFC. So gonna say my boy Giga makes it to 6-0. Finally, we're at the main event of the evening. We got Dominic Reyes taking on Irie Prohashka. Irie Prohashka is a minus 125 favorite. Dominic Reyes plus 105. This is my second bet of the night. I only have 2 bets as of right now, Marab being the first one. And then I got 3 units on the under 1.5 rounds in this fight. Big fan of that under 1.5, man. We're going back to the small cage and the apex for this one. We know how Jiri fights. Irie. Sorry, I still want to say Jiri every fucking time. But we know how Irie fights. Dominic Reyes is coming off a bad knockout loss. I just feel like with Yuri's style, either he's just gonna blitz Dom Reyes, do his thing, take him out early. Dominic Reyes isn't ready for this guy, that kind of thing. Or based on the holes that I've seen in Irie Prohashka's defense, because guys, he does get hit a lot. Like his movement is great and everything, but he blocks punches with his fucking face. And he's just not that defensively responsible, man. And I feel like it's gonna cost him one day. Could be here against Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes has power, man. Knocked out Chris Weidman, knocked out Jared Cannonier. Watch that OSP fight. He knocked out OSP at the 15th minute, right as the horn blew. So Yeah, I mean, this is a fight where I feel like both guys can get a knockout. Either Jiri's going to come out here with his normal aggressive style, get to Dom early, do his thing, or he might get caught doing it. So I originally was actually looking at Irie by KO at plus 100, and then I stumbled upon the under 1.5 at plus 125. I mean, it's a better line. It covers me both ways in case Dominic Reyes wins. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Irie to win this fight by knockout. I just like where his head's at a lot more than Dominic Reyes. Like he's bleeding confidence right now. To whereas Dominic Reyes coming off two very tough losses, both tough mentally and physically. This just I don't know who Dominic Reyes's manager is, but like this is not it. This is not a good bounce back fight. And this is coming from a Dom Reyes fan. I do like the guy, but I don't know about this one. So I'm gonna go with Jiri to win by first round knockout. Got that 3 unit bet on the under 1.5 rounds. So that's it for the card. I'll quickly go through DraftKings. So most expensive fighter in the card is Loma Lukbunmi, 9,400. I mean, her two wins in the UFC have been 77 and 65 points. So, yeah, she might dominate Sam Hughes here, but is she really going to pay off a 9,400 price tag? Probably not. She's going to need a knockout early or a doctor stoppage. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not quite convinced. I think maybe you got to plug at least a couple Loma Lookboonmies in there, but man, I don't think she's a must play by any means. Sean Strickland, he's got knockout upside. I'll have some him in some lineups. Mikulitis, he's gonna have that knockout upside as well. Marab Dvalishvili. Let me read off these Marab Dvalishvili scores. 129.2, 124.4, 135.6, 148.3. I mean, y'all already know I'm in on Marab this week, so easy DraftKings play for me. He's going to be in about 80% of my lineups. So yeah, let's go Marab, Botello. I mean, at 8,900, I'm not interested in Botello on DraftKings. I would be kind of surprised if she were to pay that off. Benitez, I mean, uh, I don't know. I haven't thought about DraftKings much this week so far, guys. So yeah, I mean, of course he's scoring well when he's getting a first round knockout, but when he's winning a decision, it's 67 points, 63 points. So it's kind of like if Benitez wins, is he going to knock this guy out or is he going to win a decision? Because a knockout's going to score high, a decision is not. So I'll have a couple Benitez, but nothing crazy. Luke Sanders. I mean, Luke Sanders has the potential to blow this guy out of the water, so I'll have some of him. Chikadze, I could see him getting a big knockout win. Luana Pinho. That's an interesting one because Pinho probably will be super low owned. And like I said earlier, she's got big power. Marcos is kind of at the tail end. So Pinho could be a sneaky first round knockout kind of fighter here. Kamaka, I mean, I said it. TJ Brown's chin is questionable. Kamaka can crack. He's got good boxing. 8,400 could be good. Irie Prohashka, 8,300. That is a big time potential knockout waiting to happen. And then right here in the middle of the slate, you got Ion Kutelaba, 82. Dustin Jacoby, 8,000. I mean, I picked Jacoby as a dog. He's the dog on DraftKings as well. I'll have more Jacoby than Eon, but I'll be playing both sides for sure. Dominic Reyes, I mean, he's a dog that could win. TJ Brown, dog that could win with a lot of fucking takedowns, by the way. I mean, let me tell you this score. TJ Brown, where he took a second round submission loss to Jordan Griffin, still scored 73 points in a loss, in a finish loss in the second round. Can you imagine if he didn't get finished in that fucking second round and he ended up taking the decision? Would have been a ridiculous score. So there's a fuck ton of upside with TJ Brown. So he's going to be one of my bigger DraftKings plays. I think that fight altogether, TJ Brown versus Kamaka, I think that's just an overall amazing fight for DraftKings. So going huge on both sides there. Marco 7,700. I mean, yeah, she could win. I guess she might have wrestling upside, but we'll see. Cub Swanson 7,600. I mean, even if he wins, I don't know if he's finishing Giga. I might plug a Cub or two in. Colaris. Colaris is an interesting one because yeah, you're not playing one of the best guys on the roster, but you are playing against a habitual loser who finds ways to lose. So I don't mind Colaris. Jonathan Pierce, there's value on him at 7,400, especially when there's takedown upside. Luana Carolina, I think that line's a little off, so I don't hate her, even though I don't think she'll score well. Cody Stamen, I want myself none of that because he ain't winning. KB Bueller, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. These punts once you get down towards the end, they're interesting. A lot of these guys like Bueller, Jocko, Carolina. I'll probably have like 3 lineups of each of those guys just in case, but I'm not confident by any means in any of them. And yeah, Jocko. Jocko could be an interesting one at 7,000, man, because I do feel like if he wins, it's going to come from takedowns. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of guys who could come through as a big dog. I don't know, man. It's tough to call a lot of these fights. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting Saturday. I think the matchmakers did a great job on this one. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Went 36 minutes. That's quick. So yeah, like I said, if you are an NFL fan, you're going to be watching the draft tonight and you want to see me and Justin's live reactions, head over his channel, just search UFC Bro Picks, subscribe to him. We're going to be going live right at 8 o'clock as soon as the damn thing starts. So yep, go check that out. Appreciate you live viewers. Early weigh-in podcast, Holloway MMA, Grateful Dude, Bill, MT Soup Can. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I'll catch you on the next one later.